matchup going against Voyboy and his Boy Scouts over on the purple/red team. Depends if you're on colorblind mode or not. My name is Optimus Tom. Joining me once again for this cast is Daniel Sifa Dracos, and we're about to jump into the picks and bans where automatically Lee Sin has been banned away in this game. No surprise there.
Really? Because I think that's an interesting choice. I mean, Lee Sin getting banned, no surprise, but Lee Sin being banned by the team that Blem is on. Maybe Cutie Pie's like, yo, that support didn't work out last time. I'm really gonna need you not to play that. And Blem was like, no, I'm gonna play Lee Sin if it's up. Similarly, we see Janna and Thresh banned out. Janna, of course, the strongest, well, most universal support in the current meta, and Thresh, kind of been a terror this tournament. Lots of excellent Thresh players, lots of excellent hooks in the games that we saw last week. How do you feel about all these support bans?
I feel like I don't know exactly how it's going to work out. So Blem last week obviously played Annie. He also got a chance to play his support Lee Sin, and that didn't work out all too well for him. The only game that we had Lee Sin and Lee Sin and Annie both banned away, he played Janna. So I feel by banning out all these supports, what if Blem is playing support again? What is he going to play? That's like the big question mark.
Well, I know that earlier in the week, Imaqtpie did tweet out that like he was going to work with his team and kind of make a strategy here. So maybe they worked on Blem's support game, or maybe he's playing a different role this week. It'll be interesting to see. As we mentioned earlier, Imaqtpie's team does have a lot of jungle mains. So as far as who's going to go where, it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe we could see less than standard strategies here. The last couple bans going to be Syndra, Draven, and Azir. Two mid lane bans coming out. No surprise. Taking Azir away from Golden Glue. Also just a really strong champion right now. And Syndra, sort of a universal mid lane ban. Just a very powerful champion with not a whole ton of weak matchups. How do you feel about the Draven ban from Fabi? We saw it banned out all last week. Is it really that good in solo queue that it's worth a ban here?
Listen, with Fabi, you never know if he's going to be 10-0 or 0-10. So it's probably a good choice to just make sure that he doesn't get a champion he can reliably go 10-0 with. Banning the Draven away, no big surprise. But Fabi's on a team with Cutie Pie, which means we don't know which one of them is actually going to play AD carry, if one of them is going to play an AD carry mid. Not entirely sure about that. However, we do see Cutie Pie first picking Corki, overall strong AD carry ban, but with no Annie ban for Blem, that's going to leave Voyboy's team to have to take it away or leave it up in the air there.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're thinking about here is like, do we really want to give Blem a champion he's comfortable with, or do we want to just pick it for ourselves and deny him any comfort picks? Similarly, we see Rek'Sai hovered over here. Not something we've seen. And we don't. Oh, Nami locked in there along with Annie. Interesting choice here. So we know pretty much for sure now that it's not going to be an Annie support. So it'll be curious to see where exactly she goes. I'm guessing most likely the mid lane, but with Voyboy on the team, you never can be sure. And if Void does in fact return to top lane, will he bring out that top lane Annie?
Top lane Annie, that's something we've seen Blem do in the past. That's something that's gained a little bit of popularity in solo queue, but we'll have to see if it winds up going there. However, they are going to be taking that one away from Blem, so now he's got to kind of fall back onto a different cast of supporting characters. Annie taken away, Lee Sin and Janna banned away. They're hovering over Leona currently, so we'll have to see if that's going to be what Blem winds up picking up, but double AD carry composition coming out from Cutie Pie's team. First pick was the Corki. Second pick locked in Lucian from Fabi. And it's actually going to be Pantheon they wind up picking up. So Corki, Lucian, Pantheon picked up for the side of Cutie Pie's team.
Yeah, the Lucian Corki comp isn't too surprising. This is something we saw a lot in OGN the last week, these double AD comps, usually with Ezreal and someone else in the bot lane. Corki, of course, bringing in a lot of poke, able to pretty much serve the same role that he does in the bot lane as he does in the mid lane. Lucian, always a strong lane bully, excellent AD carry, kind of offers a little bit more sustained damage than Corki in the mid to late game phases. So excellent synergy here, although we do see a disproportionate amount of attack damage carries coming out from this team. Pantheon, of course, a strong jungler, but also very dependent on AD. Ezreal hovered over on the other side. It'll be interesting to see if they pick this. Ezreal not known for having, the best lane matchups, but definitely an AD carry who can farm safely regardless of what lane he goes to. Jarvan hovered over as well. I think these are going to be the picks. How do you feel about Voyboy's lineup so far?
Voyboy's lineup seems fairly interesting. They were kind of forced to take that Annie away by not banning it out and by banning out the Janna pick instead, which is just universally a very solid support champion. So rather than going for the target bans, they kind of went, besides Fabi's Draven, they went with the general kinds of bans that led them to have to try to take these niche picks away from Cutie Pie's team. So besides the Annie, Everything else seems pretty straightforward. The Ezreal could potentially be a mid lane pickup. However, it could just wind up be going into the AD carry role. Ezreal versus Lucian or Ezreal versus Corki. Fairly decent matchups. Actually, kind of those three AD carries have really been the popular picks we've seen more recently in the competitive play. But having any one of those in a bottom lane matchup could just basically go either way. And pairing it with a Nami, give him a little bit of sustain, a bit more trading power. Not necessarily a bad choice whatsoever. Also, if they do wind up going with a Leona and a Pantheon like they have hovered over right here, that could give them a little bit more mobility as well. Ezreal having the arcane shift, going to keep him alive in team fights if he gets a big target on his head.
Yeah, and I think with the Leona locked in, I think that's definitely probably, if Blem is playing support, that's probably a comfort pick. Not exactly the most complicated champion to play, and definitely has an excellent matchup against Nami. Despite Nami's superior ability to poke, Leona is and heal and sustain. Leona is an excellent all-in champ, and regardless of how well the early lane is going, at level 6, she's pretty much going to be able to, force the fights that she wants to be able to. We also see Mundo locked in here. Once again, a very safe pick, very safe top laner, always has the cleavers to poke and farm from a distance if necessary, scales up pretty well into the late game, and, definitely a mobile character that's going to be able to put pressure on the map pretty easily if he's winning lane. On the opposite side, we see LeBlanc kind of hovered over, not I don't think this is necessarily the best pick against an AD carry mid laner who has such a strong level 1, but we'll see how the lane plays out. Katarina now hovered over as well, and back to LeBlanc. How do you feel about the LeBlanc pick here?
I'm really curious if Voyboy is going to break out his solo queue AD top LeBlanc build. That would be really, really fun to see. I'm kind of hoping it is now because that would be awesome, but we'll have to see here. Now, they do have Annie and LeBlanc. So either one of those could potentially be a solo top or a solo mid choice, as you're probably going to wind up falling to the role of AD carry in this situation, but it's going to be really, really difficult. There's a lot of burst damage and upfront damage on the side of Voyboy's team. Annie, Ezreal, LeBlanc, even the Jarvan Cataclysm is going to provide a lot of damage upfront in the team fight. But they're going up against a champion like Dr. Mundo, and they're going up against two mobile AD carries. Lucian, of course, has his dash. Corki is able to Valkyrie away from certain engagements, and then they have this two stuns of basically point-and-click stuns from Pantheon and Leona to follow that one up. So there's a lot of tankiness, a lot of durability, and a lot of mobility on the side of Imaqtpie Squadron. I'm going to be really interested to see where actually everybody winds up going, and it looks like everybody just kind of wound up picking an order on Voyboy's team. So Voyboy running with Teleport Annie, probably signaling it's going to go top lane, and Golden Glue's got the LeBlanc in mid lane now.
Yeah, and I'm actually really excited to see how this plays out because you do see predominantly AD damage coming out from Imaqtpie's team, but he also has such a tanky lineup with that Leona and that Mundo. Mundo not seen as much these days, a lot of that because Morella Nomicon is such a popular buy and to a lot of people is better than Chalice. But keep in mind that this is patch 4.21, so Chalice did get buffed and it might still be a competing buy at this point in the game. I'm really, really interested exactly how this is going to play out. And I think whatever team gets an early advantage is going to be able to snowball it pretty easily. Because, I mean, if you look at Imaqtpie's team, if they get those early hard engages and get something out of it, they're going to be able to keep forcing those engages. But on the opposite side, if you get that Ezreal ahead, if he can get a bit of an item spike, or if Golden Glue starts to win the mid lane, no AD carry is going to be able to solo him at any point during the game. And Pantheon and Leona aren't going to be too good at stopping LeBlanc from killing an AD carry.
No, they're really not going to be. So like we said, the burst potential coming out from Voyboy's team, is it going to be enough to take down some of the squishier targets with a very safe tank line from the side of Imaqtpie's team? We're going to get this game number 1 between Voyboy's team and Imaqtpie's team underway in just a minute, guys. In the meantime, be sure to give a check over to omen.gg. Big shout outs to HP and Intel for putting together this awesome tournament that you guys have been enjoying to watch for the first week and into the next remaining weeks of the tournament as well. You guys can vote on your favorite captains over there. Be entered to win a chance to get one of these HP Omen laptops. Very awesome stuff. Check out that website while we take a quick commercial break, guys. And we're going to get onto the riff for Imaqtpie versus Voyboy right after this. Everybody to Summoner's Rift here for the Omen Encounter, game number 1 of 3 of the evening. It is going to be Imaqtpie's team over on the blue side, going up against Voyboy's team on the red side. Voyboy's team has a long night ahead of them as they will be playing in all 3 of tonight's matches. Here first against Imaqtpie, next against Night Blue, and then rounding it out against Trick2G. But Summoner's Rift has loaded in, and we are in game number 1 of the evening here.
Yeah, and we see a lot of level one aggression coming out here. No surprise. We saw this in the first game of the prior evening too. It seems like most teams are eager to get that first kill, and you can see, especially with Imaqtpie's lineup, how much a single kill in the early game would give them. Or if they can just get their opponents to burn some summoner spells, those Pantheon ganks are going to be so much more lethal. But it looks like they kind of got seen by Golden Glue in that mid lane, and now they're going to have to back out. But they did get some solid vision control, and they will at least know where Think Card is going to be for the majority of the early game, or at least what buffs he's starting with. How do you feel about the team comp so far, and what do you think the early game is going to look like here?
Well, I mean, I like playing 80 carry, so usually I'm on board with playing more 80 carries for more win, but I'm not exactly sure how things are going to go. The biggest question mark for me is it gonna? It looks like it's gonna be Lucian in the bottom lane with Blem on Leona. So that means it's gonna be mid lane Corki going up against LeBlanc. And you pose the question in Champion Select, Sifa, how safe is Corki going to be once LeBlanc has an item? Once LeBlanc gets level 6 and is able to provide that upfront burst damage? Corki, not the tankiest champion in the world. I think that's really gonna be a lane that decides how this matchup goes on.
Yeah, and really, I think what Corki needs to do is use that level one auto attack range, use that AD to kind of play aggressive in this level one. But you see him kind of more focused on pushing the lane and trying to get level two sooner. Golden Glue staying back, knowing that he can't really do a whole lot in this level one, does play a little aggressive there, getting that free damage in. But we do see on both sides, junglers opting to start on their top side buff. So we may see a lot of play in the bottom side of the map here, or we may just see early Bs. It really depends. You know, J4 and Pantheon both have solid early game clear, but definitely don't stay healthy in the jungle early game. Blem level 2 here, getting aggressive on Biofrost.
Biofrost gets stunned up right there. The Ignite goes down. Heal and a flash burn right away from that one. But Blem not getting turned aggression on here. Ethel going to land some Mystic shots to that one. That's the early level 2 that they hit. Fabi and Blem took those double Krugs in the bottom lane, hit level 2 right away, and immediately jumped on Biofrost. Two summoners down in that bottom is going to be really, really difficult now.
Yeah, and one of the things to really be aware of here is that with these Pantheon, kind of pathing towards the bottom lane, and with Nami not having a flash, it's going to be really, really risky for Ethel and Biofrost. Despite that, they're still playing aggressive here, knowing that the cooldowns from Leona and Lucian are burned, and knowing that they have, kind of superior trading potential when Leona isn't trying to all-in.
Well, as you did see, the ebb and flow really helping really helping Ethel sustain up against Fabi here. So we had the Mystic shots, the auto attack damage coming out, and then just a little bit of a heal there to actually win the trades in favor of Ezreal and Nami. But like we said, we'll have to see how long that one winds up lasting without two crucial summoner spells in that bottom lane. Top lane, we could actually see Voyboy already just pushing down on Grigny in this Dr. Mundo here. Annie, very aggressive laner. Dr. Mundo, super tanky, but doesn't really have all too much to push back against Annie's wave pressure right there.
Yeah, and Grigny really, may not have as much experience in the top lane as Voyboy has. Obviously, Voyboy's been playing mid lane for a long time, but before that, as a top laner, he really did enjoy that top lane Annie, and this is a champion that he has played a lot of experience, and Mundo just not really able to trade at this point simply because he's a melee character, and he doesn't really have the stats and the resistances to close that gap comfortably.
Well, as if it wasn't enough, Annie kind of considered a support, sometimes a mid lane pickup, especially if you're Prolly in that circumstance. But moving into top lane, Voyboy is going to wind up feeling right at home on a very familiar champion, no matter what role he's going to be playing. Bottom lane, we did actually see a little bit of aggression here. Fabi and Blem, once again, that trading potential, the ebb and flow from Nami really paying off for Etho and Biofrost, forced the enemy's lane back there. So they're actually going to wind up having a slight advantage in CS and some extra gold, but Fabi is going to make it back here in time to kind of stop Ezreal from doing all too much. Mid lane, Golden Glue does go on Imaqtpie, misses the tether. The Think Card's coming around, is going to get the flag and drag, knocks up Harry out at the same exact time too. Cutie going down extremely low, but he's going to Valkyrie over the wall in mid lane. He's going to get out A-OK and just a little early jungle aggression in mid lane.
Yeah, an excellent map rotation coming out there from Harry Abs. Was there for the counter gank. Without him there, LeBlanc could have gone 100% all in on that Corki kill and may have been able to come out with something. But because Pantheon showed up, she had to back off, play a little bit more cautious, and that's really the kind of play I like to see from this early game Pantheon jungle. Now we see him heading up towards the top lane. It'll be interesting to see if he can get anything with the pressure he's applying.
Well, Voyboy a little low on mana, does have a stun available. Immediate flash after the stun there from Harryab, so Voyboy is going to get slid up by some Dr. Mundo cleavers, does pop the W, gets an AoE slowdown, dodges another Dr. Mundo cleaver. Grigny's really low, and Think Card's joined the party now. Flash and a slow, burns the flash from Mundo. Flag and Drag misses. There's a cleaver and a stun coming out into Think Card. He's dropping kind of low here. Voyboy, though, barely any mana. Can he get one more attack off on Grigny? He needs to get one more auto, and Mundo's going to go down. First blood does go over to Voyboy. Now a Flag and Drag's back up, and Golden Glue's roam from mid lane. LeBlanc picks up a kill onto Harryab, and that's a 2-for-0 for the Boy Scouts.
An excellent, excellent rotation coming out from Golden Glue, and of course Think Card as well. You know, you can see right there that Grigny and Harryabs may have stayed too long. Obviously, Grigny, you know, very low, doesn't have to be scared of a low mana, low health Annie, but down in the bot lane we do see some action.
Exhaust goes out onto Fabi here. Ethel getting very aggressive. Bubble does land. Fabi dropping low. Burns his own heal right there. Ethel going to arcane shift backwards. Blem is there to try to stun him up. They switch down onto Biofrost. Can he get the stun? Yes, he does. Fabi goes forward. He picks up a kill onto Nami. Teleport coming in from the top lane here. It is going to be Grigny joining the fray. Ethel does pick up a kill on Fabi, but now that Dr. Mundo's here, if those cleavers land like that one, Ethel's going to be hard-pressed to get out. A flash with a stun from Leona lets one more cleaver land. Dr. Mundo picks up a teleport kill.
Yeah, and half a second away from that arcane shift on Ezreal, but so much pressure coming out from those Mundo cleavers. The slow, just too much, combined with the Leona stun. Just no chance for that Ezreal to really get away without without using that flash over the wall. So really excellent play from Grigny, really excellent play from Blem going all in there, despite the fact that they did lose Fabi on Lucian. Ended up coming out as a 2-for-1, and you know, Voyboy's not going to be able to do much at this point. Can't really push towers too well. Will get a couple extra waves of CS, but overall, excellent play from Grigny, and I think a little bit of an advantage to Cutie team there.
One of the big things, too, is Fabi picking up that kill. It allows him to go back and buy a pickaxe here, whereas with Ethel's Ezreal, he is going to be going a little bit more towards that blue build. It's picked up a tier they got us in addition to a longsword. So right now, the damage potential coming up from Lucian just a little bit higher after that trade. So even though Fabi and Blem were forced back early in that lane, we'll have to see if it's going to wind up balancing out a little bit more now that Lucian has a slight item advantage.
Yeah, and one of the big things about Tier of the Goddess is you will get that mid-game power spike once you get that Muramana, but up until then, the stats are pretty much wasted. Ezreal isn't going to do any more damage, and spamming Q really isn't going to win him the lane at this point. So it'll be interesting to see if Blem and Fabi, you know, notice this and take advantage of this, probably trying to fight more or force more fights, but, you know, if they don't take advantage of it, then Ezreal will gain advantage here in the long run.
Ezreal just continuing to spam up those Qs. It is going to wind up pushing the lane towards Fabi and Blems. So we're going to have to see if there's any more aggression in that bottom lane. All those characters down at level 5. Voyboy, in the meantime, has gone back, picked up the early Morello Namacon. We've seen that a lot more frequently on these more recent patches, and it's just a really solid item against Dr. Mundo, especially in these circumstances.
Yeah, and one thing to look at here is just how much more CS in the jungle. Uh-oh, aggressive play coming in the mid lane. I'm a cutie pie taking a little damage there, but able to walk away. If you look at the jungle CS here, you can see that Jarvan is at about 36 to Pantheon 16. So Jarvan is having a much easier time clearing these early jungles. You know, has gone for the clearing smite instead of the ganking smite, and it looks like he's pretty poised to gank these lanes, and with his ultimate available, he's going to be much more of a threat at this point in the game than Pantheon.
Level 6 to level 5, but speaking of 5s and 6s, bottom lane, Blem hits level 6, gets the stun down onto Ethel here. The culling comes out as well from Fabi. Lots of damage coming out. One more piercing light's not going to find the kill onto Ethel, but so much damage is used. Meanwhile, Voyboy teleports into bot lane. Tibbers used up on Blem. Harryab shows up though. Voyboy gets stunned out. Can he pick up a kill on Blem? Yes, he does, but he's going to pay the price. Harryab's coming in, is going to be able to pick up a kill. He goes down to Ethel. Double boss bouncing around between these lanes. Fabi cancels the last auto attack, not going to pick up a kill on Ethel. Now Golden Glue's coming in. He picks up a kill on Fabi. And that's going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Voyboy's team.
Just once again, excellent rotational play. We did see Voyboy miss that ult on Lucian. Not a huge deal though, because in the end he still got a ton of damage off and they were still able to pick up that kill. Obviously Golden Glue once again coming in strong, probably you know, just doing absolutely amazing in that mid lane, knowing that he can't really get these solo kills on Corki, knowing that he can't necessarily trade as efficiently as he'd like to in that lane, but fully utilizing the lane pressure he's provided to come roam into this bottom and this top lane, giving his whole team an advantage instead of just his lane.
Golden Glue finds himself at 2-0-0 on LeBlanc, whereas Cutie Pie, he's content to sit in that mid lane and farm it up, try to push it out just a little bit. 77 CS compared to 51. But if you're looking at the gold counts, it's Golden Glue who has a slight gold advantage by only about 100 and some change in that circumstance. Voyboy did die in that exchange, but he was able to pick up a kill and assist on every single one of those. He's currently 2-1-3 compared to Dr. Mundo in the top lane, only 1-1-0. Mundo, in the meantime, has picked up that Spectre's Cowl, probably going to be feeling up towards that Spirit Visage. Really good item for Dr. Mundo, especially going to help out against this very AP heavy mixture of damage coming out from Voyboy's team as well.
Yeah, and you see Voyboy has already finished his Morellonomicon, using that early advantage, obviously for a little bit of mana regen and cooldown reduction, but also giving him the ability to shut down Mundo's ult, which is going to be play huge in these team fights. LeBlanc also with the Morellonomicon. Mundo's going to have a tough time this game. You know, his ult just isn't going to be very useful.
Yeah, all these grievous wounds are really going to come to bite him in the butt in this circumstance. We'll have to see, though, if he's going to be super, super tanky. Maybe he's not even going to reach that 40% threshold that he's going to end up being at before those grievous wounds activate. This is one of the little niche things to Morellonomicon, is you got to be kind of low for it to burn away at that healing reduction to begin with. But that's a thing for the later stage of this game. Is in the early game so far, it's 6 kills to 3 in favor of Voyboy's squadron as the lanes continue to trade back and forth. We see Blem going in the bottom lane here. Aggressiveness onto Ethel. The exhaust comes out, but Fabi pops a culling. It's another kill in the bottom lane for the side of Cutie Pie squadron. Now Biofrost is going to be the target. The Mandrot coming in from Pantheon. Tidal Wave is going to hit all 3. The Flash Wave after that when the Zenith Blade goes out. Biofrost is going to live from that trade, and here comes the cavalry now, Sifa. Golden Glue and ThinkCard roaming in from the mid lane here. Golden Glue is going to go in, picks up the kill on the Harry Az. One chain goes out, picks up the kill on that. Dash away from Fabi after ThinkCard pops a Cataclysm, is going to get him out safe. They're going on to Blem right now. In the top lane, Voyboy and Grigny actually trading back and forth. Flash is burned by Dr. Mundo. It looks like he's barely going to survive with his ultimate. Bottom lane has had Cutie Pie show up to the fray right now. It's a 3v3 down there, and it looks like that's all the action that's going to happen for now.
Yeah, and once again, one of the things that we saw happening there was Ethel kind of overextending. Something we noted last week a lot when he got caught out multiple times on this team. Golden Glue going really aggressive there, getting the kill but dying for it. Just, you know, little LeBlanc power there, showing him who's boss. But we saw Ethel overextend a lot, but because of excellent rotations once again from Golden Glue and ThinkCard, you know, players with maybe a little bit more challenger scene experience, you know, excellent plays down in the bot lane, and then of course Dr. Mundo getting taken out there by the Annie, of course, very close though, and Harry Abs is chasing.
Yeah, Harry Abs is chasing. Well, holy crap, look at that damage. More than half of his health bar in one QW combo, and he's still with the flash right there. It's kind of like Voyboy was saying, hey, Golden Glue, I saw you die bottom lane there, and you traded 1 for 1. You gave out a shutdown spree to Cutie Pie, though. Maybe not worth it. Let me show you how it's done. Even gets away after the Pantheon shows up right there. So 2 kills for the price of 1 across the map, but Cutie Pie is looking like he's going to get this bottom lane tower. Tanks a couple of tower shots for his treble, but it is going to be the first tower for the blue team.
Yeah, and keep in mind that with 2 spells, he did about half of Pantheon's health bar, and just think about how much damage he's going to be doing in these team fights when he has his ultimate available. He's going to be able to blow up anybody on this team, maybe excluding Dr. Mundo.
Well, actually, we see a lot of damage coming out. Fabi pops a culling with the jukes and the jazz coming up, and Golden Glue is going to wind up getting hit up by the Leona ultimate right there. Passive is pop, but they find the right Golden Glue, and Blem's going to be able to pick up a kill. ThinkCard in the backside. Secured the enemy blue buff, though. Said, you know what, that's pretty much worth it here, Golden Glue. I'm just going to peace out after that.
Yeah, and definitely a solid pick coming out from Cutie Pie's team. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this here. It looks like Dragon is on the table for them, but, you know, are they strong enough at this point, still behind 1k gold, to take this Dragon, or are they risking, you know, kind of throwing it away here?
Well, right now they are going after Senor Scubbles. The crab right there is going to wind up going down for Cutie Pie's team. Now, they do wind up starting up on that Dragon. However, Golden Glue has respawned, although he is still quite far away in base. Teleport is up for Voyboy, and there is a ward, and they are going to use the teleport right there. Dragon will go down the Cutie Pie's team, but a fight's going to ensue on this one. Voyboy gets stunned up by Blem, but the damage is down onto Harry Abs. Voyboy picks up a kill. Fabi dashing in the back with Grigny. There is going to be ThinkCard going forward, picking up a kill on Cutie Pie, though. Blem's going to be locked up after this. Flag and Drag gets a double kill, as it's going to be going over to Voyboy. Grigny now taking a lot of damage from Golden Glue, who's had time to join the fray. Mundo trying to get out of there with very low health bars. Fabi has to flash away. The stun comes in from Voyboy. It's 3 kills for Annie. He goes on a rampage. Mundo is the only one left alive for Cutie Pie's team. It's going to be a Dragon, but what is the cost? See if it looks like it's going to be an ace for Voyboy's team. 5 for nothing after the Dragon goes to Cutie Pie's team.
Yeah, and almost a 5k gold here, or gold lead here. And one thing to consider is obviously the dragon buff doesn't show up in the gold statistics, but that 6% AD and AP from the first buff is very minimal right now. Probably not worth, obviously not worth 5k, probably not even worth 1k at this point, though we do see Cursed Think card going down to a quick I don't need Smite and W from Pantheon. A little bit of a pause coming out here. But during this pause, so the Dragon buff in the long run may be worth more than the 2 or 3k that Voyboy's team got in that team fight. But right now, in the immediate future, Voyboy's team's going to be able to use their sizable gold lead to take all of the future Dragons to win most of the team fights. And it's really going to be on Imaqtpie's team to, find the picks that they need or find a team fight that they really want. Because at this point, they just don't have the combat stats to fight on anyone's terms other than their own.
And we did wonder if it was going to be a big problem with just the amount of raw damage Voyboy's team is bringing to the table. And that Dragon fight kind of summed it up pretty well. Mundo, now he has a Spirit Visage, but he just wasn't tanky enough during that fight. Pantheon, we saw him getting chunked out by Voyboy in the earlier stages of that top lane gank after Voyboy dove. Just wasn't able to pick up a kill just because he wasn't able to chase after a low HP Annie. He was taking too much damage. PewDiePie has now finished his Trinity Force, so he's hit a little bit of a power spike on Corki, but it took a little bit of time to ramp those advantages up. The cost efficiency and the raw amount of damage those Marilla Namicons, the double one for Golden Glue, one for Voyboy, are providing to this team on top of all those kills they got during the lane phase, just really, really panned out for them there.
Yeah, and they're in this interesting position where they're absolutely forced to build MR as a team just to stop Voyboy and Golden Glue from, crushing their lineup. But at the same time, this Ezreal's doing pretty well too. 103 farm, 2, 2, and 4, finished that mana immune. And at this point, he may not be a huge source of damage, but as that continues to grow and as the mana value continues to grow and it approaches Muramana status, he's going to be doing more and more damage. And, obviously LeBlanc and Annie are too, so in a kind of an awkward position here for PewDiePie's team.
Well, it is still the early stages of this game. They did secure one dragon for themselves, so that's going to be stacking up to that ever-coveted 5 dragons in the game status that has kind of become the norm on the more recent patches. 4.21 here on Live, 420 if you've been watching some of the IEM and the ESL expansion tournament coverage over there. But the dragon buff has been really, really important. PewDiePie's team prioritized it in that circumstance, and they paid the iron price as all 5 of them died for. In the end, it was really only ThinkCard who wound up DCing that situation, which is why we had the pause just briefly there. Now things are going to be settling down a little bit more without that objective on the map. We're going to have to see, where does Voyboy's team go from here? Because like you said, a lot of upfront burst damage, but not necessarily the best sieging or tower diving composition from them.
Yeah, and at this point, Voyboy's team really does get to dictate the pace of this game. Golden Glue picking up blue buff is going to be huge. Pretty much, yeah, definitely has 40% cooldown reduction at this point. Is going to be able to just keep chaining anyone he finds alone and has enough burst damage to solo kill anybody on the team, except for maybe Mundo, which isn't a good place for them to be. We do see him going on to Fabi here.
Yeah, there's the solo potential coming out from Golden Glue. ThinkCard got caught by PewDiePie, but he's the one that actually wound up turning things around. Now an ultimate use right there as Voyboy caught out Harry Avs, and the Cataclysm secures the kill. ThinkCard with another one onto his resume there. 2, 1, and 5 for Jarvan, 6, 1, and 6 for Annie, and 6, 2, and 0 for LeBlanc. It's 16 kills to 7 all across the rift right here. Voyboy's team in dominating fashion control of this game.
Yeah, and you can clearly see where ThinkCard and Golden Glue, with their experience on teams, definitely have, along with Voyboy, have this advantage where they always know where they need to be or seem to be on top of their positioning.
Well, speaking on top of positioning, Blem went for a ride right there as his Zenith Blade connected all the way with a double distortion coming out from Golden Glue. It looks like Jarvan is going to pick up a kill on PewDiePie's Corki here. Golden Glue, though, being chased down upon. Blem is going to try to get the stun down on the ThinkCard, but the Flag and Drag will get him out of here. Nami's tidal wave in the background here. It's just a little bit of scenery as Mundo and Leona not going to be hit up by that one. One chain goes out from Golden Glue. We'll get the lockdown under Grigney and Dr. Mundo. In comes Fabi, though, over the wall. The dash afterwards, a relentless pursuit. Going to give up chase a little bit after that, though. Zenith Blade goes out on the Biofrost as Blem's going to get a stun down. Half HP right there for Nami. Ebb and Flow will come out as Ethel comes in. Golden Glue, though, in the meantime, does find Harryaz trying to sneak around the side. Harryaz gets done low, but Golden Glue drops dead in that circumstance. So PewDiePie's team picks up a much-needed kill there.
Yeah, and despite that death at the end, Golden Glue played exceptionally well, using the LeBlanc clone to block the Mundo cleavers and allow for a safe escape from Think Card. But we did see him die to the Pantheon there. No surprise, that targeted stun, kind of the bane of LeBlanc. And when she doesn't have her passive up, it's pretty much just stun, and then that guaranteed crit spear is always going to be able to finish her off faster than her rotation can finish Pantheon.
Well, we saw LeBlanc blowing up really quick right there. So it is going to be 17-8 now, the score of the kills. 32.2k compared to 26.1k, and 3 towers compared to 1. Most of the things going in favor of Voyboy's team right here. Ethel on Ezreal has begun stacking out that Manamune, as we mentioned before, currently a little roughly above halfway stacked up there, but has gone for a Bilgewater Cutlass, not finishing the Bork though, and then also a Sheen on top of that. So 2 key pieces being built at the same time there, the Iceborne Gauntlet and the Blade of the Rune King, but not prioritizing a finish of one over the other.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see exactly how this itemization is going to pay off. One of the things I'd like to note is that, we only see a pickaxe and a cloak coming out from Lucian here, and it's just going to be really hard for him to put out any kind of damage in these team fights. He really needed that early advantage over Ezreal where he's a dominant laner, and he definitely didn't get it. Excellent job from Voyboy's team applying the pressure to shut down the Lucian early, but with an Ezreal ahead of a Lucian, this is going to be a really tough game for Imaqtpie's team, and obviously the gold lead is just continues to grow. Leveled out here at about 6k at 20 minutes, but what is QtPie's out here? How does he bring his team back into this game?
QtPie's team's just going to need a little bit more time. Lucian needs to get a finish item as QtPie has his own, and he's going to try to exert his dominance over Ethel over here. Corki versus Ezreal, but Cavalry's coming in down from the mid lane here. Biofrost going to pop the tidal wave, does knock up Blem. QtPie actually going to try to flash away, does wind up getting knocked up in at the same exact time. Thinkcard winds up going in. Ethel picks up a kill right here, some retribution for him. Voyboy going to teleport onto the Jarvan standard. Blem being caught up right now. Golden Glue blows him up with a distortion, and that's going to be another kill picked up for Voyboy's team with only 9 seconds left on Dragon, as this one's going to spawn up. Voyboy's team looking in good position for it.
Yeah, and you do see Mundo split pushing in the top lane, which is going to come in huge here. That Ezreal headed up there to try to take out the wave of CS, but it still looks like Mundo's going to be able to take it. It didn't really quite hit all of the creeps. So they did trade something away there. It's not just advantage to Voyboy's team, which is going to be nice for them at least. Give them a little bit more gold, help them stay in the game, but they do then have to give up their own red buff, and we do see Voyboy's team now contesting this dragon, probably going to be able to take it much easier than Imaqtpie's team in their previous run-in with Dragon.
Ooh, Fabi popping the Culling in an Ardent Blaze is not going to be able to pick up the kill from Dragon over there. First Dragon for the side of Voyboy's team goes down. We'll see that one again at about the 26.5-minute mark. Voyboy, in the meantime, maybe a little bit too far off on his own excursion, trying to find Fabi. Actually flashes forward, kicks up a Tibbers kill right there as Lucian winds up going down. Blem got the stun on him, but I don't think there's going to be enough. Voyboy here with a Rylai's Crystal Scepter being deceptively tanky for a little girl. Blem's going to get knocked up here by Thinkcard. Another kill for Voyboy, a third kill here as it registers a double kill for Annie. Thinkcard getting hit up by QtPie. The damage coming out from Voyboy though isn't going to be enough. 4 kills for Voyboy, a triple kill in succession. Grigney comes in now. Is he going to complete the trifecta here? Thinkcard goes down. Voyboy with a delayed pentakill, a quadra kill picked up right there. 5 kills for Annie, puts him at 11, 1-6. You don't want to mess with Voyboy.
Yeah, obviously just very dominant performance coming out from Voyboy. That Rylai's Crystal Scepter, pretty huge. The Tibbers. I want to talk about the Tibbers and the LeBlanc clone here and how well they're being utilized to block the Mundo cleavers. At no point was Mundo in melee range of Voyboy, and that was purely because Tibbers continued to block those cleavers, along with slowing Mundo from the Rylai's proc. So, good build path from Voyboy, paying off really well for him here. 11, 1-6. Distortion boots coming out, looking for those flash Tibbers, along with that teleport. I mean, this is pretty brutal for Imaqtpie's team, and it's looking grim. At this point, with an 8k gold lead from Voyboy's team, and even on the Dragon buffs, they better hope that someone messes up, because at this point, they're not winning a 5v5 team fight, even with the more aggressive, more tanky team comp.
And you gotta kind of think that Blem might be kicking himself right here. QtPie's team, Annie was unbanned. And they first picked Corki in the face of Voyboy's team. They didn't think the Annie was going to be either picked or that much of a problem. And Voyboy right now is making them pay for it, as is Golden Glue. Just a double distortion right there. And then one chain goes out, picks up a kill on Fabi all by himself. Corki from QtPie just not paying off dividends for letting these two AP champions slide through.
Yeah, and the huge prioritization of 80 carries coming out from Cutie Pie's team is going to end up being the end of them because they didn't really get that early game advantage that they needed to force team fights. And now as a result, those picks not being able to farm because there's so much lane pressure and not really being able to get kills either, kind of biting them in the butt.
Voyboy's team is really easy at picking up kills right here. And he picks up another one as a flag and drag came in from ThinkCard. Greedy's Dr. Mundo popped his ultimate to survive, but his jungler wound up falling in the incoming trade. It looks like Ethel's going to be in the mid lane picking up a tower for his own. That's a tier 2 mid lane tower that goes down in favor of Voyboy's team. 10k solid gold advantage for them at the 23.5-minute mark. They're sieging down now on their second mid tower as it looks like they're trying to wrap around. They spot Fabi out. He's going to wind up hitting up right here. Golden Glue goes in a flash away from Fabi. Bubble in the middle of nowhere from Biofrost, but Voyboy's team is just crawling all over Cutie Pie's side of the map right now.
Yeah, an excellent map movement coming out there from Voyboy's team, trying to get the pinch on that Lucian. Fabi, of course, is able to dash and then immediately flash away.
Oh, looks like Fabi actually popping the culling. They want to try to pick up a kill, and ThinkCard's the one they're going to get it down on, but in comes the teleport. Here comes Voyboy. Stun goes down to Grigny. His ultimate's back up, but the Morello Namacon's going to cut that healing in half at this point. Golden Glue comes in. He has it Ignite into the mix just to add insult to injury. Meanwhile, Voyboy is going to be taken down by Cutie Pie. Lucian picks up a kill as well. Things could be turning around here. Ethel, though, trying to juke and jive, trying to get the kills. Golden Glue comes in. Distortion picks up a double kill right there. Lucian goes down. Now it's Ezreal and LeBlanc against Leona and Corki. Ethel goes in. He's going to want to get Xenoblade up by Blem. Cutie Pie goes on a killing spree. It's another kill picked up right there. An ace in favor of Cutie Pie's team. And the miracle fight there for blue team. They come out ahead 5 for the price of 3.
Yeah, and one of the big things here is because Voyboy is so ahead and so much of their gold is in Voyboy that when his AoE abilities don't hit everyone, you throw a lot of that gold advantage away, and we saw the team fight split across that whole section of the jungle. That was the fight that Imaqtpie's Pie's team wanted. They pretty much split it up so that they got consistent 2v1 situations, able to pretty much nullify that gold advantage with superior positioning and, you know, kind of a big positioning mistake coming out from Voyboy's team. Definitely not the fight that they wanted.
They were able to pick up a mid lane tower on top of that when they grabbed the Jarvan Cataclysm too. So an ultimate down there for ThinkCard. Dragon not a prime objective on the map for another minute and a half, but that ultimate potentially if there's like some Baron control situations going on, not going to have that one available for the next potential fight if they so choose to go in on it. Harry out trying to secure the blue buff for his team. ThinkCard's going to flag and drag over. Biofrost is here as well. They're going to get the blue buff, but now Biofrost taking a lot of damage from Harry as the flash over the wall. The bubble goes off. Grigny has joined the party now, so Dr. Mundo trying to get his axes down. Slow cleavers going down. Biofrost drops down extremely low, but Voyboy's team is still in this area. There's still a lot of wards down in Cutie Pie's blue side jungle, so they're going to have to back away from their own blue buff. Flash forward and the stun from Voyboy in mid lane. Blem tries to get a stun down as well. Cutie Pie going to be dropped extremely low. Tidal Web barely misses on Cutie Pie, but does hit other members of his team. Blem now going to get stunned up. Tank Leona taking a lot of shots to go down, but she will fall. Voyboy's the one that gets the kill credit for that one. Fabi, very little HP, being chased down by ThinkCard, just running at him, lumbering slowly. Golden Glue's the one that picks up the kill off to the side on that one. Blinking help bar on Cutie Pie means his team has to fall back. Voyboy's team picks up 2 for the price of 0.
Yeah, and we saw Voyboy's team losing out early there, and a lot of that is because these tanky lineups with their strong initiation, when they don't have Voyboy there to provide AoE damage, they kind of don't want to push themselves into those funnels, into those tight places. But they did. But then immediately we saw Voyboy coming in big when he did arrive to this fight, almost blowing up 2 people, the Nami wave missing Cutie Pie that would have killed him, and then, of course, being able to follow up with the rest of their team, follow up from Golden Glue, of course, able to pick up those kills quickly and easily, and then, of course, the sustained damage from Ezreal coming in huge in that fight.
Well, Voyboy's team, they got a mid lane inhibitor for it, and it looks like they're going to get their second dragon of the game as well. Pushing power means extra damage to minions and monsters now acquired by Voyboy. I'm sorry, extra damage to towers and buildings because they changed the order of that one now. So that's going to be the second one picked up right there. 15% for that. Harryabs goes in on Biofrost, but it's going to be Golden Glue picks up a kill on him. They are able to pick up a kill on Voyboy, though, so a lot of damage we're seeing from Voyboy's team. Ethel gets locked up by Blem as well. Tidal Wave to disengage. ThinkCard with the flag and drag across the whole team. Picks up a kill on Cutie Pie. Fabi joins the fray. Blem's extremely low. They're trying to chase after ThinkCard, but he just won't die. Grigny's able to finally finish him off, but at what cost here? Ethel trades his life for the price of Fabi, but Golden Glue is still alive. Biofrost and Golden Glue are very low HP, but only Dr. Mundo is alive. Not going to be able to chase onto that one. It is a 4 for 3 now in favor of Voyboy's team.
Yeah, Mundo not going to be able to do much as the only person left alive. May be able to take that blue buff away. Doesn't even really have the health to fight it. Kind of scared of that LeBlanc burst. And this is, once again, really awkward coming in from Imaqtpie's team. We do see Pantheon, winning for that kill. Probably went a little bit too deep and didn't have his team to back him up. So maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. Maybe Pantheon playing a little bit too zealously. Harry Abs, obviously known for his Ramus jungle. Definitely a player that likes to go in, but in this case, not the right decision.
Well, his team is going to have to fall back as they do have super minions pushing down in that mid lane, so they have to defend those two Nexus towers. They will gen up enough of their HP by the time another wave hits over there anyway, though. So now Imaqtpie's team, they are down, but they are not out. 54.5k compared to 43.43k is the gold count. 35 kills compared to 17, and it's 5 towers compared to 3. Voyboy's team looking to have a lot of advantages in this map. Imaqtpie's team, they're looking to press out, though, here. Blem is going to get a catch with the ultimate on the Biofrost. Zenith Blade goes off. Thinkard's around the corner here. Tidal Wave goes off, but Biofrost goes down to Blem. Thinkard going to get a flag and drag across most of the members of Imaqtpie's team. But they picked up the support, they picked up the jungler, and all 5 are on top side. This could be Baron for Imaqtpie.
Yeah, an excellent play from Imaqtpie's team, forcing out that pick there, seeing Ezreal in the bot lane, seeing Annie in the top lane. They knew that they didn't have to worry about swift rotations from that team, and as a result, they were able to pick up those kills easily, and now may pick up this Baron. We do see a lot of the AP bursts coming in there from Golden Glue.
Picks up a kill on Imaqtpie right away with a Deathfire Grass. Voyboy, though, is going to get locked up. Fabi picks up a kill on that one. Baron Nashor doing a lot of damage. 2,000 HP left. Golden Glue goes in, but he's going to get blown up by Fabi. They are able to pick up the jungler. There's a Pantheon's out here to finish off the Baron. Baron picks up a kill on Fabi, and Ethel gets the kill credit. Ethel not going in. Is he going to try to do the Baron? It started regenning up, so he goes after Blem instead. Triple kill for Ezreal, and that was disastrous.
Yeah, and you saw Mundo immediately leaving the Baron pit to try to help, but when Mundo left, Lucian was the character in range of Baron there, so kind of Baron MVP in that fight. Baron plus Ethel taking out the remaining members of that team. Leona going back in for some reason when she saw Ethel on that Baron, maybe hoping to get the stun off and get a kill, but Ezreal may have been baiting it out and just kind of walked right into her and said, well, if you can get away from a Frozen Fist, I'll be impressed, but I highly doubt it.
Man, Imaqtpie's team, when they got a little bit of a break, they tried to go for that Baron. It was at 2,058 HP, but they were not able to drop it down low enough. They did pick up some pretty crucial kills and ended some streaks, though. Golden Glue went down in that circumstance. They picked up a kill on Voyboy, but now they have to worry about the fact that they just fed 3 additional kills and 2 assists over to Ethel's Ezreal. Blade of the Rune King, Iceborne Gauntlet, Muramana, and Last Whisper now on the only AD damage source, aside from Jarvan, from the side of Voyboy's team. And if you're looking at Imaqtpie's squadron, magic resistance, only a Warden's Mail contributing to the armor that's going to prevent Ezreal from ripping through the team.
Yeah, and we talked about this earlier about how so much of the early game damage was AP and that it may be a weakness, but in the long run, now that Ethel is finally caught up and is doing massive amounts of damage, their team comp has pretty well split damage, and we see Grigny just getting blown up there because of how much power this team has. Once again, another pick.
Well, Fabi doing his best Grigny impression in that circumstance also gets blown up. When your Dr. Mundo's taking that much damage with a Warmogs, an additional Spirit Visage, and a Spectre's Cowl, not in the best place there when he's getting blown up by Annie and LeBlanc. They also wind up giving up Harry Abs there. The inhibitor has respawned for Imaqtpie's team, though, so they're not going to be able to push down into the mid lane and try to end this one. Ethel using that True Shot Barrage to clear out minions in the bottom wave as they secure a tower down there at the exact same time. Voyboy's team is going to back away. There's still some 10-second or so death timers left on Imaqtpie's squadron, so it looks like it's time to get prime position around Baron once again for the Voy Scouts.
Yeah, and as Imaqtpie is slowly losing hope here, we see his AD Triforce build starting to transition into an AP build, maybe hoping to poke out these team fights.
Ooh, Blem! Blem going big, Pasta facing them out and trying to get some damage out on the Golden Glue. Golden Glue's going to pick up a kill, but Imaqtpie comes in right here. He is going to get the shutdown spree, but the rest of Voyboy's team is doing Baron. It's down to that coveted 2,000 HP mark, and it looks like it's going to go down here. Voyboy and his team picked that one up. Harry Astor jumps down on the Thinkard, picks up a kill. Biofrost in the pit is going to have to tidal wave and flash away from this one. Low mana bars, some health bars decently low as well. Imaqtpie Valkyries over the wall over there. They picked up 2 kills there on Voyboy's team, but Voyboy's team with the substantial gold lead and Baron buff are just going to disengage and run away.
Yeah, and Once again, we see kind of mistakes coming out from PewDiePie's team, committing way too many resources to kill that LeBlanc from Golden Glue, but at the same time, they don't do enough damage to 1v1 these champions, and so they're at the point in the game where their gold lead from Voyboy's team is so significant that they're never really going to be able to 1v1 anyone on the team outside of maybe, a support v support fight or a Mundo perhaps catching out Voyboy if he can live through the burst.
Well, PewDiePie's team, they're using this chance. They picked up 2 kills and got some map pressure. They're going to wind up picking up their own second dragon of the game, so it's 2-2 apiece on dragons, but there's still 3 Baron buffs active on Voyboy's team. In addition to that, they got a pretty substantial gold lead here. It is 65.5k gold compared to 52, so 13,500 gold lead for Voyboy's team. A Baron buff for them, and oh yeah, that mid lane inhibitor's down, and Blem is left to defend, dropping down super low against those super minions as well, holding 95 HP. Fabi comes and gonna save him just from those last couple of super minions. Voyboy actually teleported in, and Ethel's able to snipe him out with a true shot barrage there. They've actually picked up a kill on Blem in this circumstance. Fabi going to pop the killing on the Voyboy, trying to deal as much damage as possible, but Voyboy's just going to be healed back up by those ebb and flows of Nami. The rest of Voyboy's team has arrived into PewDiePie's team's base. It's a 5v4 right now. Baron buff on these minions in the mid lane, going to be putting a lot of pressure down onto these Nexus towers here. They're going to want it going in. Harryaz is going to go in, but Fabi gets jumped on right there. Golden Glue picks up a kill. Actually, Golden Glue is picked up as a kill, but 2 go down for the side of PewDiePie's team. 4 compared to 2 left alive. Can PewDiePie and Greatney do what they have to survive? Flash throw from Voyboy says no. Greatney and PewDiePie wanted it going down. That's an ace for Voyboy's team with a wave of super minions right here. Sifa, looks like it's going to be the first game of the night going over to Voyboy's team.
Yeah. And those Baron buff empowered minions coming in so strong. Lucian not doing really any damage to them, even with an Infinity Edge and a Static Shiv, and the whole team just wiped out there. No surprises given the size of the gold lead and just how much damage Voyboy and Golden Glue were putting out that game.
Yeah, it was a lot of upfront bursts from the side of Voyboy's team. They took it in the early stages of the game, and they really ran with it. 50 kills compared to 24. 74 kills across the board in this game. And Voyboy's team, they're showing up like they were last week, CFO. This is looking pretty scary.
Yeah, once again, we see just great team coordination coming out from Voyboy's lineup, and you got to wonder, did they practice? Were they prepared? Or did Voyboy just have a smarter draft phase? Did he pick more players who are known for, maybe having that more competitive mindset? Maybe, also you can take into account that, once again, PewDiePie's roster, not really a diverse set of players. They all play very similar roles, a lot of jungle players, and of course, Blem, once again, despite being PewDiePie's first pick, was not playing Annie or Lee Sin, which is pretty crippling for him.
I think the biggest thing, too, is when you mentioned the draft phase, going for that first pick Corki when Annie was left open by Voyboy's team and allowing them to take it away and having to put Blem on something that wasn't Janna, wasn't Lee Sin, and wasn't Annie, kind of made for a little bit of discomfort. We saw early aggression from that bottom lane of Fabi and Blem. Looked like it was going to work out for them, but because of the sustain coming out from Nami's ebb and flow, even though they hit level 2 first from doing those double krugs, they were forced back early on. That meant there had to be a lot of pressure from Harry Avs down on the bottom lane to try to get them back into it. We saw so much going down on that bottom lane, teleports from both top laners, multiple kills going across